Hello everyone, welcome. I am Isaac Umbras, and today we are diving right back into Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. We got a decent amount of vehicles from the auction house yesterday. Some rusted American royalty, or at least the, for lack of a better words, the genericized version of them. But we're going to be restoring them all today, and if we have some more time afterwards, we might do another build after that. But right now we're going to be doing complete vehicular restoration. As you can see here, we have the Salem Spectre Fastback, which is based off of the late 60s fastback Ford Mustangs, and it's in pretty rough shape. And here we have the Tempest Magnum, which is based off of the late 60s, early 70s Dodge Chargers. Probably late 60s due to the fact that it doesn't have that front split on the grille. But again, these are more genericized versions of the vehicle. And then in the parking lot, we do also have an old it's basically the in-game version of the 55 Bel Air. And so we've got two cars in our bays right now. We got basically the Ford Mustang and the Dodge Charger to restore. Which one should we restore first? Well, that's a good question. I am actually going to flip a coin to determine which one we are going to be restoring first. So give me a second. All right, I've got a dime right here in my hand. All right, we got heads, we got tails. We're gonna flip it. It's heads. Okay, so that's gonna be the Charger first. Probably should have actually said out loud which vehicle was which. But you know, I'm a professional streamer. I am really good at communicating with my audience how things are working. All right, let's remove all of the body panels, all of the rusted components. Let's get this vehicle all nice and stripped down. Remove the trunk, all the tail lights, the rear bumper. Yeah, this car is in dire need of some restoration. All right, let's get up into it. Where's the it's on the driver's side, I forgot. Let's lift the car up. Let's get the suspension all nice and disassembled on the vehicle, starting with the rear, getting everything all unbolted. That's a little bit of difficulty here. There we go, much better. Let's get the exhaust system off of the vehicle. Get the drive shaft all nice and removed. That is a very, very damaged drive shaft. Oh my word, I'm surprised this thing was even able to move. Alright, now to the rear. Get the suspension all nice and disassembled so we can try to restore some of the components. The drum off, the shoes, the cylinder, the solid rear axle off of this side. This is going to be a complete full body, full frame restoration. Remove all these rubber bushings that are going to need to be purchased, because those cannot be restored. Thankfully, with these old muscle cars, the rear suspension is very, very simplistic, with it being, you know, a couple U-spring bolts, a couple leaf springs, all that stuff. So it does make it very easy to work on, thankfully. But on the flip side, though, it does make handling of the vehicles a little squirrely. But you do have an insane amount of torque, insane amount of horsepower, with suspension system that isn't necessarily designed for, you know, very, very tight road holding properties. Not to say that they're bad cars, but they're definitely designed for a specific purpose, and that's to go very, very fast in a straight line. That being said, I do love my muscle cars. I love my tuners. I love all of them. Getting this all nice and smooth. The rear drive axle. Let's get the fuel pump and the fuel tank out of the vehicle. All right. front of the car has, oh sorry, front, back. What's the difference? The rear of the car has been all disassembled. Now let us get working with the engine bay, getting everything removed from here. And oh man, this vehicle is going to need quite a bit of work. Water pump fully out of there. Now what we're going to do with this one, for these three that we purchased at the auction previously, the Charger, the Mustang, and the Bel Air, we are going to be restoring them to the original specification, just so we can, you know, just get a bit more additional funding for doing some of the more crazy builds. Get all of this removed. Let's get the ignition wires, remove the clips from the distributor. And basically how the distributor works is the camshaft, as you can see in here, the camshaft is geared, and this distributor shaft is also geared, and the gears mesh with each other. And basically that causes this rotor to spin, and it'll connect with various points, contact points inside of the distributor, which will send electrical power to the different spark plugs so that you get proper ignition. On a more modern vehicle, you have what's known as coil packs, which is basically a computer-controlled ignition source that is directly mounted onto pretty much right on top of the spark plugs. And that's what you see on a lot more of the more modern vehicles. But this is very, very old technology. No computers here, all very purely mechanical. And it is really cool how like innovative they were with coming up with this solution to making sure the ignition is timed properly with the distributors on these cars. Yeah, let's make sure. Let's get the brake servo out as well. All right, we have all of these. Now let's get this exhaust manifold off as well. We got a whole bunch of the valve train to remove, all of the rocker arms, all of the push rods, because this is a push rod engine, an overhead valve engine, which means that the camshaft, instead of being within the cylinder heads, is actually within the engine block. And you use these valve push rods and rocker arms in order to properly push down on these valves and these springs here, and that helps. Get the air in, get the air out. You know, intake air in, exhaust gases out of your vehicle, of your engine, as well as properly sealing the cylinder when combustion needs to take place. All right, let's get this all removed. Yeah, this is very relaxing, getting all these little pieces out. Now, in real life, normally you don't disassemble the engine whilst it's in the vehicle. If you're doing a full-on restoration, you would actually completely remove the engine from the vehicle, get it onto what's known as like an engine. Basically, you mount it sort of back up to something to hold the engine. And the exact word for that is escaping me right now. I do apologize. Let me actually get that. Let me look that up real quick. Engine stand. That makes sense because it's a stand that holds the engine. Big brain, Isaac. All 5 wrinkles in his head, in his brain. Yeah. Oh, we need to get the drain pan as well. Let's get that also, so that we can drain the engine of whatever goop is inside of it. Oh, hopefully it's not too bad. Oil is in pretty bad shape as well, but we're gonna be replacing that. So let's get this now out from under the vehicle. There we go. All right, we're gonna be disassembling the engine and disassembling the front suspension components as well. getting everything all nice and removed. Get this all out of there. And the front suspension is a little bit more complicated. We do have double wishbones at the front, which is basically have an upper and a lower control arm, kind of, in the shape of a wishbone. As you can see here, it kind of got the left and the right side and where it splits. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to remove here. Yep, let's get this all off. Let's get this bottom suspension arm off. Yep, nice and easy. The steering knuckle, turbo bushing, this inner tie rod. Alright, let's get these rubber bushings out as well as this driver's side front wheel. Surprisingly, the brakes on this side of the vehicle actually aren't too bad. It's probably one of the few things that is in decent condition. Everything else is in a pretty dreadful shape. But we're going to be fixing that. We're going to be restoring this car to its former glory. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous when we're done with it. So remove this outer tie rod, this inner tie rod, the steering rack, the sway bar. Get this all removed out of there. Let's get this bottom suspension arm as well. The steering knuckle, rubber bushing, suspension cross member. All right, let's get the starter. Let's get this transmission out of there. Getting rid of the gearbox now. Vehicle is pretty much going to be just a shell, just a chassis, and we're going to be restoring that once we get everything removed. That's going to be very nice. Flywheel out of there. Now let's get the oil pan nice and dropped down. We did already remove the oil, because otherwise if we don't, the oil is going to spill everywhere, and that's going to be kind of pricey. It is good to properly dispose of your oil. Again, I know I said this pretty much every stream with Car Mechanic Simulator, but it is something that's very important. If you do change your own oil, you need a place to dispose of it. Most automotive lift obstructed. Lift obstructed by, I'm obstructing the lifter. Most auto parts stores or auto garages will more than happy, at least in the States, they'd be more than happy to take that oil off your hands, especially if you can document, how much you're giving them, because they do have the proper means of disposal. Please do not, I gotta remove that from the bottom. Please not just decide to dump the oil in your lawn or in a pit or anything like that. That is very bad for the environment. So, yeah, always good if you can to dispose of things properly. All right, there we go. The vehicle is pretty much we can't remove anything in the interior, which is why even if the rest of the car is in absolutely dreadful shape, the interior for this vehicle is always going to be in perfect condition. But now let's restore it. I'm restoring the Tempest Magnum. Yes, absolutely beautiful. This car now, all right, very nice, very rust-free frame, and we are going to be, we'll be going through this. We're trying to restore as many things as possible, and if we don't, that's perfectly fine. But we're just going to be going through until everything is either destroyed or at 100%. Either way, we're going to be, making money. So in that regards, we'll be fine. Oh, had a few pretty expensive components being damaged there. Oh, come on. Has a few pretty big component. Oh, come on. Okay, good. All right, now let's all right. So the hood's bad. Left headlight's good. Front bumper's bad. Right headlight's good. Right fender's bad. Okay. Oh, we need to remove the right side door as well. Alright, let's see. Cool. The door is good. Put the door back on. Very, very nice. The trunk's good. Right tail light. The left tail light. Rear bumper. Okay, so the front and rear bumpers are bad on this car. Let's go to the body part shop. Magnum. Front bumper. Rear bumper. And the hood. Alright. Here we go. Oh, moving backwards. Front left door. Hood. Front bumper. Okay. We have basically 2 fenders to put on the vehicle. Brand new fenders. Right fender, left fender, get that all nice and put on there. Oh yeah. Alright, the body is very, very clean now. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's raise the vehicle back up. Let's start reassembling the suspension system. Getting everything all nice and tidy in there. We're gonna be going to the rear first. Alright, we need a new fuel tank. Get that installed in there. Get the fuel pump. Get that in there. Very, very nice. Rear drive axle. Alright, we need 2 rear shock absorbers. Rear shock absorber B. Get 2 of those in there. That all nice and hooked it up. We kind of want to go from the center out for this vehicle. Alright, very nice. Okay. Leaf springs are both in good condition on both sides. Alright, leaf spring plate. We need both of those. Both of those are in very poor condition. We were not able to restore those, but thankfully those are fairly cheap. Alright, most of the U-bolts are good. That's good, that's good. Alright, we're gonna need one of those solid rear axles as well. Alright, sorry about that. A little bit of a... got a message I needed to respond to. Alright, both brake shoes are good. Both brake drums are absolutely terrible though. So let's get 2 brake drums. Get this all nice and restored. Alright, we do need 2 rim retro 3s. Alright, so that's in the wheel shop. Rim retro, it's alphabetical. Retro 3. We need 2 of them. There we go. Let's make sure we get this all nice. Alright, we need 4 small rubber bushings. Small rubber bushing, small rubber bushing, small rubber bushing, small rubber bushing. This all nice and reinstalled in the vehicle. Nice and bolted up. Alright, and let's go to the other side. Ooh. As you can see, I am not used to playing with a mouse and a keyboard. I do apologize in that regards. Most of my gaming is with controllers. Oh, nope, we need a solid rear drive axle. Alright, let's get that. Alright, drive axle. Solid rear drive axle. Because right now we are in the midst of restoring what's in the game known as the Tempest Magnum. It's kind of a genericized version of an early 70s, late 60s Dodge Charger, and with that, you know, it is very, very nice. We also have a Mustang, well, a Salem Spectre Fastback, based off of the Mustang Fastback. And these 2 cars are both, ironically, were featured in the very same movie. You know, the real life versions of these cars, I will say. If you're familiar with Steve McQueen and his sort of movies he starred in. Both the Charger and the okay, game's not letting me get to the exhaust system here. Both the Charger and the Mustang Fastback were heavily featured in Bullet, which is where Steve McQueen in his green 68 Mustang Fastback chased down a black Dodge Charger throughout the streets of San Francisco. And it's a cool movie. I think a lot of Steve McQueen movies are basically just a very, very kind of just an excuse to get him to be able to drive, you know, really, really nice, nice cars at high speeds. Everything from, you know, Le Mans, Le Mans to, you know, to Bullet and everything. That's kind of how it seems. Granted, the movies themselves are enjoyable to watch as well from a historical perspective. We need 4 rubber bushings. That all nice. Got these all nice and bolted in. Yeah. All right. Have one here. Perfect. All right. We have one good front steering knuckle and one bad steering knuckle. So now let's get the bad steering knuckle replaced. Front steering knuckle B. Bottom suspension arm, we need one of those. Bottom suspension arm. Yep. Alright. Front wheel hub, we need one of those. Gosh, I was really 50-50 with restoring most of these things, it seems. Alright, front wheel hub. Get that all on there. Upper suspension arm. Okay, both of those are good. That's very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. Alright, we do need 2 double wishbone shock absorbers. 2 double wishbone shock absorbers. There we go. Get that bolted up into there. We need 2 front springs. We will probably need 2 front shock caps as well. So I don't think that's a restorable component. I don't think that's something you can restore. We do need a front sway bar as well. Okay, we're gonna be getting this vehicle all nice, restored to its original condition. Alright, sway bar, front end length E. We're currently getting all the suspension components all sorted out on the vehicle. And then we'll be rebuilding the engine back inside. We need 2 inner, 2 outer tie rods. At the very least, 2 inner. I don't think the outer is restorable as well. No, it is not. Yeah, those are non-serviceable components. Alright, back to the passenger side. Get this all bolted up in there. All of these on suspension components. Brand new shock absorber. The upper suspension arm. Shock absorber cap, the front springs, the front sway bar links. Yeah, a lot of suspension components aren't serviceable on these vehicles. It's basically you need to completely replace them, which is kind of mirroring real life. It's very difficult and not really. Nope, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. All right, let's remove the front wheel hub cap. We need 2 caps, 2 front wheel hub caps. Front wheel hub cap. There we go. Get these all nice and installed in the vehicle. All right, let's go to the brakes. Make sure we get the proper braking components for this vehicle. Brake pads, we will need 2 of those. Those are not serviceable either. Okay, and we were not able to restore either of those brake calipers. So 2 of these. Thankfully, we do have pretty much instantaneous next second delivery. We have that, you know, that premium delivery service where we buy it and it pops right into our hand almost immediately. That way we don't need to kind of... And now, guys, we don't need to necessarily plan out how we're going to be building the cars and everything and budgeting stuff. It's more of a kind of relaxing game where you can just kind of go about, you know, working on different vehicles. Alright. Let's get this. There we go. Sorry about that. Alright, let's get this all put back together. We need a brand new engine block. We were not able to restore that at all. V8 overhead valve, pushrod engine, camshaft. We were able to restore that, thankfully. Cam gear, we were not able to restore that. Not able to restore that. Okay. So gotta see what we can and cannot bolt up to this vehicle. Our steering pump, and what we are going to need to replace as we are working our way through there. Thankfully, the radiator is in good shape. Alright, we need a new fuel filter. New fuel filter. Get that bolted up into there. We will need a new battery. We will need a new cam gear. Cam gear, V8 overhead valve. We need a new timing chain. That won't be able to be restored until we get the crankshaft all reinstalled. We will need a new alternator. Let's get that as well. Kind of getting some of the accessories bolted back up to the engine. Anything we can to kind of minimize the time lost by constantly putting the vehicle back up and down. Ignition distributor. Get this all in there. The rotor's in good shape. The cap's in good shape. One of the clips is in good shape. The other clip is not. Clip B. Clip B is for the distributor housing. Clip A is for your, on your modern vehicles, is for the, at least in this game, it is for the air filter housing. So now we'll be going back underneath the vehicle. Here we go. Getting everything all nice and tight. And make sure we installed all. We did install all of the. Thankfully, we did install all of the rubber bushings. We will need a new oil filter as well. Let's get that. Oil filter, V8 overhead valve, the black one. Let's go now to the gearbox. Get that all bolted back up to the vehicle. Nope. Flywheel is not a serviceable component apparently. Could have sworn that one was. Clutch plate, clutch pressure plate, that and the clutch release bearing, both are non-serviceable components. So let's get that brand new right here. This all nice and bolted up to the back of the big, powerful V8 motor. This all nice, bolted up snugly. You know, 3 Ugga Duggers is a proper torque spec. Alright, let's see. Were we able to restore the drive shaft? We were not. Okay. Shaft. Drive shaft. Get this all bolts up to the vehicle. Connect the engine to the rear differential, which allows the vehicle to be rear-wheel drive. It's kind of a hollow metal tube. Alright, now we get to lower the vehicle down. And we're going to be working back on the top of the engine. Here we go. Alright, we need 4 pistons. Those were not serviceable. We need 8 pistons. We will need 8 spark plugs as well. Those are not serviceable. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, here we go. Piston with conrod. Piston with conrod. Piston with conrod. Piston with conrod. Getting this all nice and bolted up. Piston with conrod. Piston with conrod. Nope. I clicked the wrong one. Trying to go through this very, very quickly. Making some mistakes there. Alright, timing chain. Here we go. The V8 overhead valve timing chain. Now, one of the things We do need a timing cover as well. Now, one of the things I hope they changed in later games is that they got more engine variety in the later games. I hope they did that. Because in this game, a lot of the V8, especially the pushrod V8 engines, as you'll see when we're restoring the genericized Mustang, all of them are pretty much the same. And I don't quite like that, because there is some differences between them, with the various different engines and everything, between displacements and all that stuff. But with this game, they are, at least with the 2015 version. Granted, the 2015 was a fairly early version of this game. I do hope that the later games have more engine variety between, you know, different muscle cars. I'd love to see that happen. Those games are on my Steam wishlist, so I will be purchasing them at a semi-soon date, and we'll be playing through those as well. But I'm currently enjoying 2015 Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. Alright, we will need a engine cylinder head, which is where all the valve train is located, or at least most of the valve train. We do still have the camshaft that's within the engine block. Alright, V8 overhead valve, pushrod engine head. This all bolted up. And again, with when you're replacing or working on the cylinder head, you need to remove it. You do want to make sure you replace the bolts after you have removed the cylinder head, due to the fact that due to the high amount of torque and stress those bolts are under, they do stretch actually a little bit, and you don't want those bolts to fail, because that can cause some serious engine issues. So yeah, you definitely don't want that. Alright, we're gonna want an exhaust manifold. I can type. Be over a valve. This off, nice and bolted snugly. Another thing, when working on engines and stuff, when you're bolting up stuff that requires, you know, a gasket, you know, like your exhaust and your intake manifolds and everything, or your cylinder heads, it is good to start from the inside and kind of work outwards, like you would apply, you know, like a sticker. You don't want any bubbles or anything like that. You don't want any leaks or any of that stuff. So you definitely, what was I gonna buy? Oh yeah, the ignition wires. It definitely helps making sure that the build goes smoothly. V8 ignition wires. Let's get this all installed, and we will need 16 valve push rods. Rod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 2 per cylinder. Oop, this all nice and added in, because these are not serviceable, and they're very, very cheap as well. Granted, there are components that can fail quite easily, so we gotta be very careful with them. These are nice and, you know, inserted correctly onto the camshaft rollers down below on the camshaft. Alright, we will need also 16 rocker arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. That's another thing I hope that they fixed in the later games, is that you can purchase a certain quantity of components, because it is a bit difficult in this game. Not necessarily difficult, but just kind of tedious in this game, where you're just purchasing components one at a time, even though you need, you know, 16 of them for your engine rebuild. This all nice and snug in, making sure that the valve train play is correct. That way you don't get any valve tapping, any of that fun stuff. There we go. All right, Engine head cover A is all beautifully restored. We made sure to properly sand that down, get all the finish. Absolutely gorgeous. There we go. Now let's go to engine head cover B. Again, also in great condition. That's very, very good. Getting this all bolted up. There we go. Alright, intake manifold. Nice and snug. Let's get the carburetor. Hopefully the carburetor is not in good condition. We need to get the 4-barrel carburetor. Carburetor 4-barrel. This all nice and bolted up. That's basically, it takes the function of the fuel injector of a modern vehicle, kind of dumps in fuel as fuel kind of goes through a fuel line into here. And there's 4 sort of what's known as butterfly valves that open and close with the throttle that allow air and fuel to properly enter. We do need a round air filter as well. Single carb air filter. And then the air filter top. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Alright, let's raise the vehicle up. Let's get back under the engine. Getting this all put back together. Yeah. Alright, we need 1 crankshaft bearing cap. One of those we were not able to restore, unfortunately. Crankshaft bearing cap. Get that all nice. There we go. Oil pan, get that all put up snugly. Nope. Am I missing? I am missing something. Whoops, it is. I am missing the leaf spring U-bolt. Alright. That was a mistake on my part. That is a very easy thing to miss. Because they are very, very small. I do need 1 singular leaf spring U-bolt. That all instantly purchased from Rainforest. Beautiful. Slow the vehicle back down. Let's make sure we get oil back into the engine. Our favorite oil brand, premium motor oil. Nice and removed. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's move this. Let's take it to the paint shop. Restore the paint on it. Make sure it's got that nice, basically factory finish shine. And then we're gonna be doing some dyno testing with this now. We're moving it to the dynamometer, where we will be adjusting the carburetors. Let's do a test run beforehand, see how much power we're making. 252 from roughly like a 7-liter engine. Alright, let's do some carburetor tuning. Let's get this all. Alright, let's get this perfect. Very nice, very quick. Get the air-fuel mixture all proper. 14.71, make sure it's all properly stoichiometric. Yes. Alright, let's move this to the parking garage. Let's bring in the wonderful, wonderful Del Rey Custom. Let's get this vehicle. And this is based off of the Tri-5 Chevy. I think it's a 58 due to the lower tail fins. It looks like a 58 Chevy. All right. So now, are we going to be restoring the Mustang, or are we going to be restoring the Tri-5 Chevy? I want to get that dime again. All right. Heads, we're restoring the Mustang. Tails, we will be restoring the Tri-5 Chevy. Here we go. Flip. All right, heads. Mustang. Yeah, we're gonna be restoring the Mustang now. Let's get this all unbolted, all disassembled, completely stripping the vehicle to its base components, getting everything all nice and removed. The Salem Spectre Fastback. Yes. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be real fun. Alright, well, we're up top. Let's get this all out of here. Get the battery removed. Brake servo. Well, we're gonna be starting with disassembling most of the engine first. Now, this engine does have a two-barrel, not two-barrel, twin-carb engine. So this is gonna be, you know, quite a bit of power. Basically, 4 total barrels for the carburetors. Twin carb engine, which is very, very difficult to time correctly with the carburetor timing. I am familiar with using the test lights to make sure your carburetor has been tuned properly. Very, very, very finicky. One thing I do like about modern vehicles is if you have the proper applications on your laptop, you can adjust fuel, ignition timing, all that stuff right there instead of, you know, taking a screwdriver and just adjusting a few adjusting a few bolts and trying to fine-tune it there. Alright, let's get the fuel filter, let's get power steering, all of that removed. All the exhaust manifold. The spark plugs all nice and removed here. Get all the valve train covers removed, so we can get access to all of these push rods, all of these all of these lovely rocker arms that are going to be basically you can't restore them. We're just going to be replacing them. These all removed from the engine here. Push rod, valve push rod, push rod, push rod, push rod, push rod, push rod. Get these all nice and removed as well. If I can remove these bolts. That is one thing I do like about this game, though. That it makes it more relaxing than frustrating. Is that, you know, all the little things that you normally have to deal with working on a vehicle, like, you know, needing like 20 different U-joints just to get to that one bolt that was hidden somewhere by some engineer. Those dang engineers. I'm totally not cursing out my own field. But yeah, no, those engineers hiding bolts in random places that those of us that work on these vehicles can't access. Alright. Basically, the top end of the engine has been disassembled. Let's get the rest of the car all stripped down, all nice and removed. The brake drums, the brake shoes, the brake drum, the wheel cylinders. Remove the axles. All of this stuff. It needs to go so we can take it to the workbench, try to restore it, and if we can't, we'll just have to buy new ones. Get the rear shock absorber. Let's make sure we remove all of these exhaust components as well. Get these out of here. To move the drive shaft, that we can get the rear differential, the rear axles, and all that stuff off the vehicle. Get all these little rubber bushings out of there, all the spring U-bolts and all those fun components. The spring plate. These all nice and removed as we're going around the vehicle. Basically complete stripping it down so I can do a full frame up restoration of these cars, these beautiful American royalty machines. I love my classic cars. I love my modern cars too. This is very fun working on these. All right, back up to the front. Now let's get all the front suspension components removed. All right, we need to remove the starter here, as well as the transmission. Oh, and we should probably, before we forget, I'm going to, I'm gonna get the drain pan, the oil drain, and I am going to drain the engine of oil. Rust-a-mod over restored. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think with me, it really depends on the vehicle. And it's good to see you again, guys, both Dakota and Sprockets. Thanks for tuning into this stream. We're doing a whole bunch of sort of, right now we're doing basic back to factory restorations here. But once we get a decent amount of money to purchase the more performance-based components and do engine swaps and stuff, we're gonna be trying some of those either later in this stream or in the next stream, where we're gonna be, working on getting all these vehicles, turning them into fire-breathing monsters, or at the very least, improving performance even if a little bit. Now let's get this all unbolted from the chassis so we can get the engine out of there. Oh, I forgot this side. I had gotten distracted by needing to remove the oil. But no, I think with regards to rest-a-mod versus restoring a vehicle, I think it very much depends on the vehicle. More so on the condition of the vehicle. If the vehicle is in pretty poor condition when you find it, oh, if you're putting time and money into the vehicle, you may as well update a few things for a better experience. That is a very good point. I didn't think of that. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point. Try to modernize a couple of things here and there. If the vehicle had a known issue, especially when it was new and stuff, you don't want to have to continue dealing with that issue. So that is a very, very good point of doing the rest-a-mod. I do think though that it really depends on the vehicle condition though. If the vehicle itself is in mostly good condition, I think I'd much rather prefer to restore it back to a factory specification, just so it kind of holds that historical. It kind of acts as almost like a time capsule, showcasing kind of how people kind of got around during that time period. But it is an interesting debate between people that do work on cars. And it is both sides do have quite a bit of merit to them as well. I need to remove this door. I almost forgot that door. And I'll be able to restore all of the body panels on this Mustang with the twin carb Mustang. But I do genuinely like seeing both, the very, very original, keeping everything back to factory cars, and I love seeing the absolutely crazy hot rods as well, with the the massive superchargers. And I do like the variety, and so when I am building the vehicles virtually, because well, let's be honest, I do not have the space or IRL money to be able to do vehicular modifications. Yeah, I would, if I did have the space and money to do that, I would probably alternate back and forth between, depending on what vehicle I'm working on. Now let's store car's body frame and the full authentic restoration. It's a really cool seeing the the people they find these rust buckets and everything, and they're like, okay, let's get all of the part numbers and everything. Let's find the original documentation, and they restore it basically to how it came off of the factory floor. That's so cool. And then again, it's also really cool just to see all the the crazy hot rods and stuff. Like you take the T bucket that's been run down, instead of rolling chassis, and you put your crazy modern like your Coyote engines, or your big block Ford Chevy V8s in there. And those are also really, really cool, because you get to add your own creativity and your own modifications to improve performance as well. and the car kind of becomes your very own as opposed to something created by a company. And we're not having the best of luck. Some of the more expensive components are definitely not getting restored. I'm really into electric conversions for classic cars lately. Ooh. Yeah, some of those are pretty cool too. A year or two back, I was at a car show in Western Maryland. It was called Dubs at the Gap. It was for like Volkswagens. Mostly air-cooled Volkswagens, but they had quite a bit of the water-cooled ones as well. They kind of expanded that. And there was a guy there, and he had, basically he had taken a Chevrolet, he had taken a Volkswagen Beetle, okay? But he made it look like it had like a Chevy small block in it. And what he did was he had basically, I think it was out of like molding plastic. He created a mold of a Chevy small block and stuck it in the front, but it was hollow, and that was where he kept the batteries. And he basically turned it into an electric car. But he made it look like, it looked like a hot rod, which is super cool. I think it was called, hang on, let me see if I can't pull it up. It was called like the Volkswagen. I'm not able to find it, but it was super cool. It was basically an electric, like classic Beetle chassis that he turned into a hot rod and like made it electric, and it was so interesting seeing it like pull into the car show because it was so quiet. But you see, the fake plastic supercharger and everything, and from like 5 feet away up until you got about 5 feet away, it looked like an actual engine. He did a really good job of molding it. But instead it was, completely, fake. And that was really cool seeing that. That was beautifully done. Resto mod. Camshaft. I can type. Camshaft V8 overhead valve. Let's get this all installed into the engine. We needed a cam gear. Alright, ignition distributor. We need one of those. But now with electric cars, I like the concept of electric cars, and I kind of like, I enjoy the high performance that a lot of electric cars are offering now. But the big thing that's been kind of bothering me with electric vehicles is so they kind of, instead of being cars for people to drive and get from place to place and enjoy driving, a lot of these cars now, it seems, for the electric cars, it seems they're designed to be iPhones for the road, where they have all of these electrical components on them, the big touch screens, all of these luxury features and everything, to kind of showcase your status symbol and all that stuff. And that's fine for your Halo, your luxury cars and everything. You definitely want people to be interested in buying them. But I think there should be a sort of a driver's, or like an electric car for the common man that isn't absolutely dreadful to drive. With the Teslas, again, they definitely seem like an iPhone for the road. And with those, I would definitely like to see added to the lineup, because there is space in the lineup, the Tesla lineup, for sort of an entry sedan that has decent driving characteristics, that kind of doesn't have all of the luxury components and all that stuff. Instead, it's more so just, you know, for your working class guy, just getting to and from work, but still, you know, having the performance and the efficiency of an electric car. It isn't, you know, an itty bitty micro car that, you know, it wouldn't survive on an American highway anyway. It would be, you know, something that you can actually, you know, use, but also wouldn't be ungodly expensive. Front sway bar. Any sub? No, just front sway bar. But yeah, no, unfortunately, no company is really offering that right now, and I guess it'll take just a little bit longer for the technology to become more widely available for vehicles like that to properly exist. But the vehicles like that is created eventually, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to buying something like that. But as of right now, it's basically, you have so many electrical components on these cars, electrical luxury components, should I say, that aren't necessary for vehicular, you know, use, everyday use, that, you know, would be, you know, ungodly expensive if they break. That, you know, your average Joe can never really afford those. And I would love to see that change, where you do see sort of a more, dare I say, analog, very kind of simplistic electric vehicle, but still, you know, a decently sized sedan. Ford has an electric crate motor. What? No, you're kidding. They do. Crate motor. Or the Illuminator. Huh. That is interesting. Hang on, I'm gonna show this up on stream real quick. Browser. That is the Illuminator. Oh my gosh. That is super cool. Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna delete that now. Yeah, there we go. That is so cool. I didn't know that. That's an electric crate motor. Oh my gosh. So that could cause for lack of better words, a renaissance in sort of automotive modification. You can build like a rolling chassis, stick an electric motor, get all the electrical sorted. You can kind of, granted you need to get it registered to drive on the roads depending on what your state's vehicular regulations are. May be difficult, because I'm not sure what classification you know, that would fall under. I guess hot rod? That'd be very, very difficult to get it registered depending on how your state's regulations work. Because a lot of states, at least in Maryland, hot rod is kind of more so limited to, you know, being based on like either a kit car or a rolling chassis and stuff. So, but with a manufacturer supported engine in there, that'd be interesting. All right, but anyway, we need, as I've tabbed in and out of the tablet way too many times, trying to kind of regain my bearings. Alright, we need a brake caliper as well. And we need 2 wheel hubcaps. Oh, that could definitely be really cool. You can, with more manufacturers, you can kind of go back to the days of old, back then, like the early 1900s, where you had what's known as coach builders, where during that time period, you could purchase an engine from, you know, a manufacturer, like you purchase a Buick engine, transmission, and everything, and then you go to a coach builder, and they would build you a body for that. And again, this is really, really old, early 1900s. But I think maybe depending on how popular that becomes, that could see a resurgence, where people kind of purchase an electric motor from, you know, a automotive manufacturer, and you could have a company that builds, you know, a frame and can kind of, you know, sort that all out for you. And if so, that would be really, really cool. Alright, we need a new radiator. Alright, we need a new timing chain as well. Chain, not Chan. Alright, timing cover. This is in good condition. We can bolt this all up. Water pump is in 18,000. We'll buy a reproduction 69 fastback. Ooh. Ooh. That's nice. Oh man, that'd be really, really cool. Now is that just like the rolling chassis, or is that with all the mechanical components as well, like the engine, the transmission, and everything? Is that oh, just a rolling chassis? Okay, yeah, I'm about to say that's not bad. Let me remove that. I need a new water pump pulley. Brand new 69 chassis. Wow, that's awesome. And you can do everything from, you know, sticking the Mach-E engine into that, or you can, you know, stick, you know, like a modern Coyote engine into that, you know, kind of. Oh, that'd be really, really cool. Get this all nice and bolted up. Alright, we need 2 serpentine belts. Alright, data thread valve. Or the Godzilla. Ooh, yes. That'd be a cool engine to swap in there as well. Let's get this radiator fan bolted up into there. Yeah, this game actually here, it does allow you to do some engine swaps. But it is fairly limited in this game, because it's basically you can't go to a modern engine from a classic car and stuff, which is a shame, because those are the engine swaps I really like seeing. I love seeing sort of, if you are doing a resto mod vehicle, you know, I love seeing sort of with the hyper modern engines, 6, 7, 8. Because you get the performance and drivability of a modern car, but you still get the look and feel of a classic car as well. It's kind of the best of both worlds. And also it ends up being lighter than their modern counterparts as well, so you get a better power to weight ratio. Alright, we need a new cylinder head. Alright, back again to this side. I have Mechanic Simulator. I like it. Yeah, and this is a very, very fun game. Very kind of relaxing. I am planning on getting both the 2018 and the 2020 version soon, because I heard those have a lot more features in it. But right now I'm enjoying playing 2015. So with that, I'm, you know, at least until I get kind of do most of the builds on, or at least a good variety of builds on stream here. Then I'm gonna probably go to 2018 and kind of start the process over again. We need a new manifold. Plus manifold. V8 overhead valve. Equal length headers. These are all nice and put on there. Alright, now all the tiny components. Oh, the brake servo. Brake servo's in good condition as well. That's good, that's good. Alright. We need 8 spark plugs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 8 push rods. No, we need 16. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we need 8, 16 rocker arms. I'll get the number right eventually. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, let's get all these little components all bolted up into there. This all bolted up nice and snug. Alright, we will need a new cylinder head cover B. But let's try to get some more stuff all reinstalled onto this engine. Get it all nice and put on there. Oh, I missed Cowden. Whoopsie daisies. One more about push rod. These rocker arms all reinstalled as well. Nice and quick. I think we have enough experience points to actually get another upgrade point. We can start either changing the interior of our shop, or we can I don't think there's anything else we can upgrade on ourselves. I think, oh no, we have fast fast inspection we can still get for ourselves. Engine head cover A, that's in good condition, that's good. Get this all nice and popped it up. Set in the center, work our way outside. Alright, we need engine head cover B. That's the one without the oil fill. Engine head cover B, V8 overhead valve. It's all nice, snugly bolted. Alright, intake manifold, that's all. That we were able to restore that one. That's good. It's all nice and bolted in there. Carburetor, okay, we do need a new carburetor. Carburetor, 4-barrel carburetor, 8 total barrels, twin carb. That's all nice in there. Brown air filter base. We wanted a new air filter as well. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Absolutely gorgeous. All nice, shiny and chrome. Now let's start working on the back of the car, getting the rest of these the suspension components all reinstalled. We need a new we will need a new drive axle, new differential. Alright, both of those are good. We will need a new solid drive axle as well. So back to the passenger side, get this all reinstalled here. Alright, this drum wheel cylinder, brake shoes. We will need 2 brake drums, so let's get that real quick. This all bolted on here. We also need 1 rim retro 11, which is the Mustang rim. Kind of looks like the American Racing torque thrust wheels. Rim retro 11. Leaf spring. We will need 1 leaf spring as well. Get this all bolted up here. Leaf spring, and we will need 4 small rubber bushings. I know that for a fact because those are non-serviceable. Let me adjust the volume just a tad. The game's probably just a tad loud, and I do apologize. Get the leaf spring bolted up here, all the rubber bushings. Alright, we will need a new fuel tank. Fiek. I know how to spell. It's most why I just... Ooh, nope. Let's remove that old fuel pump. We need the new fuel pump. We failed in restoring that to its original condition. So we'll need 2 rear shock absorber Bs. So let's get these. Both of them. Now, Sprockets, just out of curiosity, what year Car Mechanic Simulator do you have? So this is 2015, which is the one I'm playing, and then there's 2018 and 2021, I think. I think they just came out with a DLC for 2021 as well. So with that, you know, it definitely seems like there's a lot more content to be had with the newer ones. I'll have to try to get those at a fairly soon date. I know how to type. Leaf spring plate, and I need a leaf spring U-bolt. Let's get this all nice and snugly installed. Thankfully, the rear suspension of these vehicles is super simplistic. The drum here installed. Beautiful. Get the wheel all bolted up. All right, rear suspension has been completely restored. Let's get the exhaust system in now. Exhaust, rear muffler, V8. We will need 2 of these, 2 middle mufflers, and 2 front exhaust pipes. So we have true dual exhaust on this Mustang, genericized Mustang, shall we say. It's basically a Mustang. It's about as close as you can get to a Mustang. Alright, we'll need a new flywheel. Let's get this gearbox stuff. Flywheel. Clutch plates. We'll need 2 clutch pressure plates. No, 1 clutch pressure plate and a clutch release bearing. It's all nice and reinstalled here. Clutch release bearing. Alright, we need a new gearbox as well. V8 overhead valve gearbox. This all bolted up to the engine. We will need a new starter as well. Starter, the V8 starter. This all nice and snug. The starter engages with the flywheel and that helps turn electrical energy into mechanical energy and start your engine, get it going from a stop. And it takes quite a bit of electricity to get your engine all restarted again. All right, we need a new oil filter. Oil filter, V8 overhead valve. Get that all installed. Crankshaft bearing cap. We will need 1 of those. All right, cap. Crankshaft bearing cap. We're getting very close to getting this all put back together. Oil pan, let's get that all nice and installed. And finally we can get the Tri-5 Chevy all nice and sorted. And we'll have 3 beautiful American cars that we can then sell and get even more money to begin doing you know, all the crazy builds. Battery, there we go. Alright. Let's get all of the components now on. We need a new hood. We have a front bumper that's in good condition. Alright, right headlight's bad. Left headlight's good. My fender's bad. Front right fender is good. No front right door. Do we have a front left door? We were not able to oh gosh. Very few parts we were able to restore here for the body. Okay. Got the body part shop. Salem Spectre Fastback. Right door. Thought I purchased that. Yep. We need a right taillight? Right taillight and trunk. Let's get these reinstalled. Alright, we need a hood. That installed up there. Alright, we need a right headlight. We need a front left fender and a front left door. There we go. Beautiful, and there we go. Car is on its way to being restored. Let's get it painted back to the factory color. Get that factory shine back on there. Have a nice kind of off blue, kind of purple blue color. And then let's put back on a dyno. Let's see how it does. Oh, whoopsie daisies! I forgot putting the oil on. Oil is very important for your engine. Make sure everything is properly lubricated. Please do not try to run your engine without oil. Alright. This on the dyno. Now let's do a test run. Let's see how much power it makes before we do the adjustments. Alright, 248 horsepower. Not a bad figure, but we can definitely improve it. Let's get this all in the correct ratio. There we go. It's the correct ratio now. So now we just gotta get it adjusted back to all the max. And one more going through. There we go. Carburetor. Cool. Now let's do the test run. See how much more power we're able to make. 292. That's a much more respectable figure, especially from a stock Mustang. Very, very nice. Beautiful. Alright, so let's move this back to the left lifter. Let's get the Magnum, the Challenger in here as well. That would, because we didn't actually, I made a mistake. We didn't actually test it after we did the after we did the carburetor adjustments. So now that we have, let's actually do an actual test run. I'll probably make about 320 horsepower, close to that. Only 297. Huh. Hang on, I thought I got that correct. There we go. Now let's just get this. Nope. One more go about. Let's get this all nice. Carburetor. There we go. Test run. There we go. Much, much better. This should be quite a bit of power. Huh. Okay. Could have been just a graphical glitch then. Very strange. Very, very strange. That's perfectly fine. We have this all in the garage now. Final vehicle. First, let's sell all these components. That way we have just a little bit of extra funding for getting this car all unbuilt and restored. Tri-5 Chevy. Personal favorite of mine. I do quite like the old 50s American cars with all the chrome on them and everything. Very, very nice. Get everything removed, all the body panels removed from the vehicle. There we go. Alright. That's the car lifted up. The rear suspension disassembled. The front suspension disassembled as well, and then we're working on the engine. Oh yeah, everything is a very rough shape on here. Yeah, this is very, very poor shape on the car. The car looks like it's been sitting for quite a while. Poor baby. We'll get this thing all nice and fixed up. Let's get all these components off. We're gonna do our best to try to keep most of the stuff, get most of the stuff restored, but it's not looking likely. Most of the stuff is in very, very, very poor condition, it seems. Let's get this, these bushings out. Get this leaf spring off. Get this fuel pump out of there, and then the fuel tank that's removed. Now for the drive shaft. Let's get this all removed from the vehicle. There we go. The rear drive axle, the rear mufflers. Now let's move back to the front of the vehicle. Ew. A little too close there, game. Alright, let's get this rear gearbox. Let's get the gearbox to move. Oh my word! Yeah, everything is. Thankfully, we don't have to deal about. We don't have to worry about all of the bolts. Kind of rust infusing. To the other components we're trying to remove them from. Otherwise, we need to use about a couple gallons of PB Blaster, which is kind of a lead lubricant, in order to kind of loosen up these bolts. Thankfully, these all come off very, very quickly. That being said, remember, it can't be tight if it is a liquid. Acetylene twitches are always an option, unless, of course, what you're trying to remove is connected to something that holds fuel. In which case, acetylene twitches are very much not an option. Alright, almost gotten all the suspension removed from the vehicle here. Just gotta get the driver's side out of there. All the driver's side components. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's get these double wishbone shocks out of there. Get this lower control arm. Get that all out of there as well. Alright, let's get this cross member out of there as well. Granted, you wouldn't be able to remove this first before removing the engine, because most of the time, the engine is at least partially connected to this front cross member, or it's connected to the body itself inside via the motor mounts. So you would need to remove those first in most situations. Let's get the oil drain. We'll have a little drink of water there as we're waiting for the oil to drain out of the vehicle. Put that aside. Get the oil filter off. Let's get the drain pan off now, because this is going to be a full vehicle restoration. Alright, let's slow the vehicle back down. Let's get all the stuff removed from the top end of the engine. Oh, this poor car. We're gonna be saving it. We're gonna be doing some automotive necromancy. Get this thing back up and running. Because right now it is crying out for help. It is on its death. Having death throes and everything. We will fix this. We will rebuild this. It's all nice, put back together. It'll be just like new. Hopefully. We should have the funding for all three of these restorations simultaneously, and it'll make for a nice picture as well. Getting all of them all nice and situated within the garage. Alright, let's remove the top end, get the carburetor off, get the air intake manifold out of there. Must be a northern car. Yeah, especially. I'm not sure where exactly you are from for the States, Sprockets, but I'm from kind of like the Mid-Atlantic region, kind of Maryland. We got Old Bay seasoning here. But yeah, oh my gosh, the winters here are absolutely terrible on our vehicles. Mississippi, ooh, nice. Much warmer than much warmer than it is here right now. It's very kind of cold, very wet here in Maryland. We get lots of rain, lots of slush in the winter. It's kind of red at that point where it's just a little bit snow, kind of very icy when it does fall. And then what happens is we either have to salt the roads like crazy, or we need to, or the roads themselves will freeze overnight, and it's very hazardous to drive. But yeah, no, the Maryland winters are very tough on our vehicles, just because of how wet this state is. We get so much rainfall each year, and it's just very rough on our vehicles. That's why my poor little before I had to get rid of it, my poor little Geo tracker. But we don't use salt on our roadsides. Oh gosh. Do you guys have like a different chemical you guys use to kind of prevent that, or do you guys just deal with that? You know, just kind of drive slower and stuff. Yeah, because here in Maryland we use a whole bunch of salt, partially because it's very easy to get salt here. Oh, you guys use gravel. Ooh. Huh. I wonder if that's better for preventing corrosion on your vehicles. Here in Maryland, we use so much salt. Oh my gosh, so much salt. Just because we are a coastal state. So with that, it is not only is it fairly cheap, but also it is fairly effective. But it does eat away at our vehicles quite a bit. I used to have an old 92 Geo tracker, and before I got rear-ended at a stop sign and the car was totaled, I missed that car quite a bit. But before the vehicle was totaled, it was kind of on its last legs, because the transfer case and part of the frame was starting to rust through. And I would need basically full restoration that I most certainly did not have the money or ability to do. So yeah, it is very hard. Winters are very hard on our vehicles here. So we do have quite a bit of kart culture in Maryland. We have one of the largest during March. I think it's March. Is that the March or May? We have one of the largest car shows on the East Coast with the Cruising OC. A lot of counties ban salt on the roads because of salt running in creeks and farms. Ooh, that's a good point. You guys have the yeah, with the Chesapeake, the Chesapeake, with that since that is brackish. It is brackish water, which is, you know, good, kind of half salt, half fresh. We don't have to worry too much about salt runoff, but we do worry a lot about runoff, especially from like the mountainous regions, like Pennsylvania. We get a lot of runoff from Pennsylvania farms and Pennsylvania industry. So it does cause a little bit of friction between states. But thankfully, you don't have to worry too much about salt runoff due to the most of our water basins are either salt or brackish water. I'm also gonna get a fuel filter. And we need a power steering pump as well. Let's get that in there. Power steering pump V8. It's all nice and restored. Seconds. Alright. Camshaft's in good condition. Cam gear is most certainly not. And we we need a timing chain as well. Timing chain, V8 overhead valve. Let's get that all together. We need a distributor. We also got a lot less ice to deal with, so a wood solution is still pretty good. That makes sense too. Yeah, you guys are much warmer than up here. How's the summers down there? Is it kind of hot, very humid? Because with Maryland, it's very weird with Maryland. Summers are very hot. Like we do occasionally get up to, like, you know, close to, you know, 100 degrees, especially in August. August is pretty bad for us. But then in the winter time, it gets fairly cold. Summers are hateful. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh my gosh, how hot does it get up there? What, down there? Yeah, how hot does it get down there? I know geography. I imagine, you know, it's still pretty humid as well, depending on where in Mississippi you are. We need an upper arm. $95 is a decent summer average. Ooh, yeah, Maryland is not quite that warm. It's lower 90s here for the summer, especially it's not as bad up in the mountains, but when you're kind of closer to the Chesapeake, it gets very warm, very humid as well in the summer. But yeah. Now, one thing I do like about Maryland, though, is we do have a very large car show right on the coast. It's the Cruising Ocean City car show, and it is absolutely huge. Because alright, so there's this parking lot right by the boardwalk in Ocean City, kind of down at the very south end of Ocean City, called the Inlet. Basically, right where the Chesapeake Bay meets the Atlantic Ocean. And there's a huge parking lot there. And basically, from Thursday to Sunday, it's this big car show. And basically, at that parking lot, at the convention center, and there's a couple impromptu car shows as well with different car clubs and everything, kind of joining in on the fun. You can easily get well over, you know, a couple thousand cars all throughout the city, and it's all a bunch of, you know, the classic and modern American muscle cars. And oh my gosh, it is so cool. I haven't gone the past couple years due to work, mostly work, just because that's roughly when a lot of certain projects are due. Oh, it is so cool. If you ever get the time, definitely recommend it. It is, oh my gosh, it is so awesome. They also have, you know, pretty much Friday and Saturday, they do parades right on the boardwalk with all the cars in the car show. And you get to see them, you know, kind of cruise past as well, and it makes for some really great photos. Absolutely love going. Like I said, I unfortunately haven't been able to go past couple of years due to work. But I intend to go in 2024. I'm gonna be definitely gonna try to make it there. Alright, we need a front wheel hub. But yeah, and it's always huge, absolutely packed. Alright, front sway bar, that's in bad condition. Get this all nice and restored. We need the upper suspension arm. The bottom suspension arm all nice and bolted up into there as well. Alright, we need 2 sway bar front end links. B? Yeah, B. This all nice and reinstalled. have both the front spring, the shock absorber cap, that's all good. Steering rack's in good condition. Alright, we will need 2 inner and 2 outer tie rods. Outer, inner. And we will need 4 rubber bushings. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are nice and reinstalled into our vehicle. Nope, it's the wrong one. Get these, the one that's actually in good condition installed. Alrighty then. Alright, we need to install the crankshaft as well while we are under the vehicle, because that we were not able to restore that. That's been restored now. Alright, we need 2 ventilated brake discs. Get these, put them on. Pads, we'll need 2 pads. Because, well, you can't really restore pads. It's basically just friction material and metal backing. Basically, we can really only kind of restore rotors if you machine them. But even then, there's a minimum thickness that you need to get them within. And calipers, you can kind of rebuild depending on the condition of the cylinder inside. But most parts of the braking system are wear components that need to be replaced instead of serviced. Yeah, okay. Need a new flywheel. Get this all put up into there. We need a pressure plate and a release bearing. This all nice and installed. Oh, good. We managed to restore the starter. That's good. We don't need to purchase that. All right. Let's go to the rear suspension now. Let's get this all bolted back up there and there. Everything reinstalled. Fat fingered that. Alright. We were not able to restore the fuel pump. Let's get the new fuel pump. One thing that is interesting is all of the fuel pumps in this game, even if it's an older vehicle, all the cars have the electric fuel pump, even though in a lot of classic cars, the fuel pump is actually back up front at the engine and is driven by a drive belt. That's interesting. Alright. Let's get the rear shock absorber Bs. Let's get these. Both of these. Get these all bolted up into there. Nope. Alright, let's remove the bad knuckle housing. We need 2 rear knuckle axle housing for the drum brakes. Alright, both the solid rear drive axles are in good condition. That's good. Drum wheel cylinder, brake shoes. Alright, we need 1 set of brake shoes and 2 brake drums. Get that all nice and reinstalled. We need 2 leaf springs as well. We need a leaf spring plate and probably at least 1 leaf spring U-bolt. Very rarely are we able to restore all 4 off of the vehicle. That in there. We need a leaf spring plate. Get that purchased. $7 component. Very cheap. Yeah, we do need a leaf spring U-bolt as well. Get all the rear drive axles reinstalled. Cylinder, brake shoe, brake drum. Alright. we need 2 rim retros. Wheel shop, rim retro 12 with the wire wheels that are bolted up into there. Very nice, very nice. Alright, we need 4 small rubber bushings. Go back to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This all nice and reinstalled. Alright, let's try to reinstall the drive shaft now. Drive shaft, we were able to fully restore that, thankfully. A lot of sandblasting, getting all the corrosion off. Thankfully, it was very, very solid underneath. We need 2 middle mufflers, 2 rear exhaust pipes, and 2 front exhaust pipes. V8 overhead valve. A muffler, rear muffler. The classic car is very, very simple exhaust system. Basically, take it away from the engine. Don't care what happens afterwards. No restrictions, just letting it completely, you know, just flow freely. Alright, let's get this all reinstalled here. We're gonna need what? 8 pistons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna need 8 spark plugs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna need 16 rocker arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we're gonna need 16 push rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're also gonna need ignition wires. Kind of getting all of the components that I know need to be replaced right from the get-go. Making sure we get all of these in there. Kind of helps speed up. We need 2 engine heads. We were not able to restore those. Engine head, V8 overhead valve, get both of those. Nice and bolted up snugly. Alright, we will also need a timing chain as well. So let's make sure we get that as well from the tablet after we get this bolted up. Timing chain, V8 overhead valve, get this all installed. Alright, we need a new timing cover as well. Timing cover, V8 overhead valve, there we go. Get this all bolted up into there. The water pump, all nice and snug. Make sure we can cool the engine. We need 2 pulleys because the pulleys are non-serviceable. Alright, we need a crankshaft pulley and we need a water pump pulley. And we also need 2 serpentine belts. Serpentine belt A and serpentine belt B. There's the crankshaft pulley, serpentine belt B, there's the water pump pulley. We need a new radiator fan as well. Radiator fan, let's get that all bolted onto there. Alright, front of the car has been rebuilt. Alright. We need a new exhaust manifold as well. That's perfectly fine. Alright. Spark plug. Spark plug. Spark plug. Spark plug. Oh, the valve push rods. Getting these all Reinstalled all the little tiny fiddly components. The rocker arms reinstalled now. We're rebuilding the valve train. Getting really close to having the vehicle fully operational. And we have restored pretty much 3 cars in a single stream. And they're absolutely gorgeous as well. We can get a nice picture with all 3 cars in the garage. All 3 beautiful American muscle cars. Well, at least American classic cars. I don't know. Some people may not consider the Mustang or the Tri-5 Chevy muscle cars because they were, you know, well, the Mustang somebody would say it's a pony car, and the Tri-5 Chevy would say it's, you know, before the, you know, the muscle car era of the 60s and early 70s. But I mean, they're close. They're the muscle adjacent cars. Let's call it that. They are adjacent to being muscle cars. Honorary muscle cars. That's probably a better terminology. Alright, engine head cover A. That's all nice and beautiful with this chrome finish. That all reinstalled. Nope, we need engine head cover B. Engine head cover B. V8 overhead valve. There we go. Get that all nice and reinstalled here. Intake manifold. Let's get that all nice bolted in there. Carburetor. Oh, finally we were able to restore 100% of the carburetors that are on the car. Oh, nope. We need... Okay. Brown air filter base 1 carb. Let's get that. Let's get the round air filter 1 carb because that is a non-serviceable component as well. Round air filter cover. That's all bolted up in there. Alright. Let's let the vehicle back up. Let's get the bottom half of the engine all reinstalled finally. Alright, let's get these crankshaft bearing caps. Again, we've only been able to restore 2 of 3. Strange. The oil filter, let's get the cap. Crankshaft bearing cap. Get oil filter in there. Alright. Mechanically, the vehicle has been fully rebuilt. Now we just need to get the body panels on there and the oil in there. Let's get the oil in there first. Some oil brand premium motor oil. There we go. Alright, let's get all the body panels that we can put back on the vehicle. Back on the vehicle. We're missing a lot of components. Gosh, we were not able to restore many of these. Alright, we need both taillights in the trunk. So the body part shop. Alright. Alright, left taillight, right taillight, trunk. There we go. Put that in there, put that on there, put that on there. Front left door. Oh, I need both doors. Left door, right door. Alright, we need a right fender. And a left headlight? Yes. And a front bumper. Nope, I purchased the wrong headlight. I need left headlight. There we go. Let's move that to the paint shop now. Get that all back to the factory color. Make it like new. That nice factory shine. And then finally, let's move this to the dynamometer. Get the carburetor all readjusted. This is gonna be fun. And we have restored 3 cars this stream. Beautiful condition. Only 216 horsepower here. Oh yeah. Late 50s V8 problem. 5 liters. Only 200 horsepower. Yeah, the horsepower per liter for some of those old American V8, well, a lot of older engines in general was not good. All right, let's see how much horsepower we're making now. 255. That's respectable. That's much better. That is much better. Back to the garage. All right, we have all 3 of the cars here. Absolutely in gorgeous condition. Let's get this all nice. Hang on a second. Let's move the oil drain out of the way of the car. There we go. Camera. Alright, roughly right around here. I'm gonna move it down just a tad. 3. Actually want... There we go. Yeah, it's funny looking back at the... Yeah, it's crazy. You see, you know, the absolute... Oh, nice. We got the screenshot saved. Perfect. Yeah, no, you see the crazy displacement, you know, 400 some cubic inches, 7-liter V8 engine, 350 horsepower. I'm definitely glad that a lot of the modern cars nowadays have considerably more efficient engines, because you get some even more power out of them, which is nice. Granted, you know, it is, you know, cool seeing how far we've come. But anyway, we've restored all these beautiful machines. Let's give them a new home. Let's sell these vehicles. Get these all out of the shop. Give them a new loving home. Now 1.8 liter Mustang is making 300 horsepower. Yeah, it's crazy. It's even crazier is back when I was a kid, you know, 300 horsepower from a 1.8 liter turbo engine was even then considered, you know, in the high performance category, you know, where we'd be, you know, because you think about, you know, the S2000 back in the early 2000s, which was kind of when I was, you know, younger, shall we say. It had 250 horsepower from a 2-liter engine. And that was considered, you know, the end-all be-all in horsepower per liter. But now we're pushing some truly mind-boggling numbers. You know, we're making, you know, 700 some horsepower from the factory with the 800 horsepower from the factory with the Dodge Demon and everything. And it's crazy. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be ending the stream shortly. We're gonna be going to the auction house. We're gonna get a couple cars. We'll try to get a couple cars anyway that we were gonna be tuning next. 300 horsepower is a target for our Fox Body Mustangs. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna be purchasing the vehicles that we're gonna be restoring or tuning up at next stream. And the very first one is the Ecos Cobra. Ooh, okay, max 30,000 on this is what I'm gonna bid on it. because it is a very, very nice car. I want to kind of turn this into a fire-breathing monster if we can get a decent deal on it. If I can get 30,000 or less, I'll be happy. But 30,000 is definitely my max bid for this car. Oh, they're really being annoying. Hey. Alrighty then. I want to see how high it goes for. They're still going. They are still going. Alrighty then. That was probably out of our price range just a little bit. The next one is the Mayan M6. That's front engine, front wheel drive, turbocharged, inline 4-cylinder. That'd be a fun one to tune as well. Kind of tune the wagon. Probably 25,000, probably the max I bid for this. Come on. Be nice to me, game. Ooh. I think I've got like one other person that's trying to outbid me here. Come on. One more. That's mean. That is very mean, game. Alright, next car. The next car is the Salem Spectre Fastback, the Mustang. We already kind of restored that, so I do want to kind of work on a different vehicle. We will come back to one of these at a later date, but definitely not this time. Just because we just got done restoring one of them. But we will definitely come back to do a very, very high-powered build of one of them. Starting bid 27,000. Holy moly. Yeah, I'll pass on the Caster Earthquake Rex as well. Jeez. Alright, we also, same thing with the Del Rey Custom. This vehicle, we just got done restoring one of these. So we're gonna kind of put that on hold for now. Try to get a different vehicle to kind of upgrade. Alright, the Royale Crown. Again, probably maximum bid of $25,000. Front engine, front wheel drive, non-turbocharged, but we can change that. We can definitely put in a turbocharged, fire-breathing 4-cylinder in here. Come on. And we got Mr. Monopoly Man, Mr. Moneybags, Uncle Pennyworth trying to outbid us in this. There we go. Alright, we got one of them. We got a Royale Crown, 4-door front wheel drive sedan. Definitely fun to kind of tune that up a bit. That'll be fun to kind of turn into a high performance vehicle. Let's also get this. Let's also try to get this Royale Bianco. Yeah, let's turn it into a fire-breathing hot hatch. So raise this up. Maximum probably 18,000 for this. Come on. Don't be like that. Alright, I'll let that one go. I will definitely let that one go. Alright. And then finally we have the Caster Earthquake, based off of the Ford F-150. This one will be real fun to tune up as well. This one probably max 25,000. See if we can't get a decent deal on it. It is in decent condition as well, so that will be tricky, kind of increasing the value of it as we are upgrading it. Come on. It'll be fun to put a supercharged, I think we could put a supercharged V8 engine into this one. I'll raise one more time. Nope, okay. So we've got one car. We'll do one more auction round, then we're gonna call it a night. That way we have at least a couple of cars in our garage that we can you know, work on next stream. Maybe. Game's Make sure I save real quick. There we go. All right. Let's go to the auction house. One more round of the auction, see if we can't get anything else. And then, regardless of whether we can or not, I'm probably gonna be ending the stream there because it is getting a little bit late here. Bit of a fairly early morning tomorrow. Let's see what we have available to us. Ooh, the FMW Panther. Starting bid $18,000. I'm skipping that one. That one is way too expensive for us currently. All right, the Mayan M8. Very luxury, high dollar sedan. Sure, let's try this one. Maybe Uncle Pennybags might be kind of, you know, in the restroom, getting a hot dog, you know, somewhere else other than the bidding floor. We might go to try to get this for 25,000. Okay, fine. Next car. Fine. That's okay. All right. The Katagiri Katsumoto, kind of little tiny Japanese two-door coupe. This will be a fun one to tune as well. Kind of keep it naturally aspirated. Or turbocharge this one as well. That'd be fun as well. I'm probably gonna max bid of 18,000. Never mind. That was good. Only double the starting bid. We'll put it on the garage. I'll keep that. That's nice. Alright, now we have the Buckhorn Grand Mojave, the Jeep Grand Cherokee knockoff. Not too keen on SUVs, but it would be an interesting car to kind of restore, rebuild, and everything. If I can't get it for something cheap, like 14,000, I'm not gonna bother. So, nope. Okay, they want that four-wheel drive. Oh, the little air-cooled Malik. Yes. Okay, definitely want this one. Only $601 is what it's starting out as. And right from the get-go, we have that. That's gonna be a fun one. Very little itty-bitty air-cooled, basically based off of the Fiat 136. All right, so we've got 3 cars already. Do we want to try for one more? Nah, that'll probably be it for now. We have a decent amount of vehicles in our garage now that we can begin working on. So that's what those are the vehicles we're gonna be working on the next stream, kind of turning them into little fire-breathing monsters. I want to see how much horsepower we can get out of the little Malik. That'd be a fun car to fully upgrade as well. But yeah, that is what we're going to be doing on the next stream. The next time we're streaming this game, which would be this coming up Sunday the 11th, is when I plan to stream this game again. Until then though, I'm going to call it a night here for the night. I thank you all for watching. I do very much appreciate it. It's really cool kind of streaming to people, you know, and interacting with chat and everything instead of just, you know, streaming to the void. So you guys do mean quite a bit to me and kind of make this, you know, even more fun than it already is. If you did enjoy this video, do be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike. Tell me how I can improve, because I do try to look at the, you know, all the criticism as well, how I can improve. But thank you all again for watching. I've been Isaac Umbras, and wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is, may it be a great time, and I will see you on the next stream. Take care. Bye.